So now let's go to how we do some basic settings. After you have opened like this, click on the first tool. It is called the move tool. When you put the cursor on it, the name will come, move, and move to into bracket V. The V there means that you can click or press V on the keyboard, the V key on the keyboard. You can press it and it will select the same tool. So you can either use the mouse to select it, or you press V on the keyboard and it will select the same tool. Now every tool that you select, you will see its options appear. So when I select this tool, you see the options appear. When you select the move tool, you see the options for the move tool. The basic settings we are doing is one, to check this auto select, check it, and check show transform controls. Check it like this. That's the basic settings. Let's go to how we can select a background. Now, before you do any work, you need to know the background size. Okay, so let's say we want to do a banner which is 8 by 4 feet. The first thing is to select your background. Okay, is to select your background. So to start a new work, you go to file, then you see new, file, you see new here, so you click on new and it will open the window or the menu for you. Now when you look after the new, you see Control N. That Control N is a shortcut for new. So apart from you going to file and clicking on new like this to open the menu for you like this, you can also use the keyboard to press Ctrl plus N on the keyboard and it will open the same menu for you. Now here we select our background size. You see custom here, it means you are customizing the size. So the first thing you do is to select the dimension. So we can select, let's say, centimeters. So let's say we are doing a work, we will come to the banner, but we are doing a work which is a square background. So with a square, all the sizes should be equal. So we can say 50 width, 50 height. And the resolution, if we are doing a flyer, we can choose 300 resolution or 500 resolution. But if you are doing a banner, they are bigger works, so you can use 72 or 100, or if it is very big, 50 for the resolution. But for flyer, 300, 500, at most 700 is okay. So when you are done like this, selecting your dimension and the sizes and the resolution, you can click on OK here and you see your square background like this. Now let's say we want to create 8 by 4 feet banner. Okay, so let's go to new work, file, new. When you look into the dimensions, we don't have feet here. So what you need to do is to convert the feet into one of these dimensions, and what I mostly use is the inches. So you convert the feet into inches. So you can simply go to Google and you search, let's say, 8 feet in inches, and you get 96 inches here. You can also search 4 feet in inches and you get 48 inches. So you come back to your Photoshop and you select your sizes. So the height will be 48 and the width will be 96 inches, which is the same as 8 by 4 feet. Okay, we are doing banner, so the resolution we can make it 100. Then we click on OK. So this is our 8 by 4 feet background that we want to use for creating a banner. Let's open another new background. So Control N. This time we are using shortcut Control N on the keyboard. It will open it for you like this. Now when you see this custom, you can click on the arrow key and you can select international paper. At the international paper, you see here A4. When you click on the drop down arrow, you see other sizes for the international paper or other international paper sizes. So we have A4, A6, A5, A3. So let's say you are creating A4 work or you are creating a work on A4 background. Okay, you select the A4, then you click on OK like this. Another one, Control N. So let's say you are printing an envelope. You go to the international paper, it's already there. You click on the drop down arrow. The envelope size is this one, the DL. So you click on the DL and you click on OK, and you have your envelope size. So this is how we select our background. Now you see the envelope, it has rotated. So we want to go to our next activity for today, how to rotate background. So to rotate this envelope background, you need to go to image. You see image rotation here and you rotate it 90 degrees. So this is our envelope background. This is our envelope background. So this is the first. Now every new background you create, you will see it up here. So we have created 4 backgrounds. Okay, the first one is the square background, the second is the banner background 8 by 4 feet, the third is the A4 that we created, and the last one is the envelope size that we created. So this is how we download and install the software, the basic settings we can do, and how we can select our background and also rotate the background. Looking at font selection and text activities, we are looking at how we can download and install new fonts, how we can add color and gradient to a font, how we can add shadow and stroke to a font, and also how we can add bevel, embossment, and adjust the opacity of a text. So we are basically looking at text activities. Okay, so now before we start the work, we need to select our background or our working area. So Control M, and then we select our background. So I want to use A4, international paper A4. Okay, so we are looking at text activities. I want to rotate the background, so I go to image, then I go to image rotation. I rotate it like this. So let's use the first names. Let's use our first names. So to write a text, you need to select the text tool from among the tools, and the text tool is this tool, the T. That's the text tool. You can either click on it with the mouse or you press the T on the keyboard and it will select the text tool. While the text tool is selected, you see its options will appear up here. The first one is the font of the current text, and the second one is like a subset under that font. If that font has a regular, narrow, and other types of that same font, it will appear here. So in order to start a text work, you need to click the T with the mouse or press T on the keyboard to select the text tool. Here you can select the font you want to use. You can select the font you want to use from here. So you click the drop down arrow like this and you select the font you want to use. So let's say I want to use this font. I click on it, then I come to my work and I double click on it and I start typing. answers. Okay, so my text is white. When you look up here, you see there's a white color here, meaning the text is in a white color. That's why it's not showing, but it is working. So after typing, you click on this sign. After typing, you click on this sign like this. Okay, so you've typed. Now we can change the color of our text by coming to down here where the layers are. You see FX, you click on it, you go to color overlay, and you can left click and hold here and drag it aside. You select the color you want to use. So let's say black color. Then you click on OK. Okay. You can adjust the size of the text here. So you double click and you type in the size you want. Okay. So this is it. Now, while you are using the text tool, you see this option. It's also used to adjust the text. So you can click on it, and here you see the font. The same thing here. You see it here as well. So when you click on it, the fonts will drop down like this. Here too is used to make the text capitals or small. Or you can also adjust that one. So you see. And this is italic. This is underline. Yeah, we have, I think, subscript and superscript. So you can use it to work on your text. Okay, you can also adjust the font here, the font size. So let's say 150. So this is it. Apart from adjusting the font size here, you can also use the move tool. After typing, you can select the move tool like this. You click and hold. You left click and hold this side. Then you click on the shift. While you are clicking and holding the left, you click on the shift to maintain the size, okay? To have a uniform size. Then you can drag it like this. You can drag it like this. So you left click. If you left click and you don't add the shift, it may distort, you see. It may distort. So let us undo by clicking Ctrl Z. So if you want the sizes to be uniform, if you don't want the text to be distorted, you left click and hold, and you also click and hold the shift. Then you can have your text size equal like this, so you can adjust it. So this is it. Let's change the color. So to work on it, let's say to edit it, you have to go to the text tool again like this. Yeah, before you can edit it. If you are done, you click this sign up here. Now to change the color, you go to FS as we did earlier, and you select the color you want like this. Okay, so let's look at how we can add gradients to a text. Now we've looked at text, we've looked at how we can add a color. So how we can add a gradient. So to add a gradient, the same way, you go to FX, you select gradient overlay. Now for your gradient overlay to work on your text, you have to untick the color. Because we've applied the color, when you add a gradient, it won't work because you've added the color and the color box is ticked. So if you want the gradient to affect the text, you have to uncheck the color. Then you go to gradient, you click here, the gradient box. You can click and hold here and drag it so you can see your text. You click here to select your color, maybe like this. And you select your color for this side as well. Okay. Okay, so you can adjust the angle here. You can adjust the opacity of the gradient here. You can adjust the blend mode here. So you can just play around it to your preference. Okay, you can adjust this style here, either radial, linear, how you want it. Okay, so when you are done, you click on OK, and I've applied gradient to the text. If you want to apply shadow to the text, you go to FX, you go to shadow. So we have drop shadow down here. So you click on drop shadow, and here you can add shadow. Normally we use black for the shadow, but if you want to use a different color for the shadow, you click here and you select the color you want to use for the shadow. I normally use black. Okay, so you can play around it, the distance of the shadow, the spread. Okay, and you can also adjust the angle where you want the shadow to reflect. You can make the distance maybe like this. So you adjust it as you want it and as you want it to appear. Okay, so when you are done, you click on OK. You can also play around this area. Okay, it gives it different effects. You see, it gives it different shadow effects. So designing is just about trying new things to see how it works. That also comes to play. You click on OK when you are done. So that's how we add shadow to a text. Let's look at how we can add stroke. So still, you go to FX, you see stroke, you click on the stroke. Now let me show you something. While you are here, you can either also go to the gradient from here without going back to FS and select gradient. You can go to gradient here, you can go to shadow here, you can go to stroke here and apply all the effects you want to apply. So on the stroke is black here. We can change it to, let's say, white. Okay, then you can change the stroke size here to, let's say, 7 or 10. Okay, let me use 15. So that even as you are selecting, you look at your work if you are getting what you want. Now the position of the stroke, you can make it outside or inside like this, or center. We normally use the outside stroke like this. If you are done, you like what you have done, you click on OK. So this is it. Now I've added a gradient to my text, I've added a shadow, and I've added a stroke. Now with the stroke, we can reduce the opacity. With the shadow, we can reduce the opacity of the shadow. Okay. So you see all the effects I've applied, they are here. If I want to work on the shadow, I double click on the shadow here, and it will open for me. So the opacity of the shadow, you see, you can adjust it like this or this, or make it 100% or 92 or something. 92 or 98, how you want it. So you can adjust the opacity of the stroke. Now you see the layer side. If you want to get rid of the stroke, you can click on this eye, the visibility. You can click on it to off it. When you click on it, it will on it. So we use that one to, this is the gradient overlay. When you close the visibility, it disappears. When you on it, it comes. The same with the shadow. So that's it. If you want to off all the effects, then you have to close the visibility at the effect, and everything will disappear, leaving your text as the original one. Okay, so that is it. So we've learned about font selection, we've learned about adding gradient and color and shadow and stroke. Let's go to bevel embossment. So bevel embossment, the same way you go to FX and you go to bevel and embossment up here. And here you can play around the options available here. I normally use outer bevel or the pillow emboss. So let's say outer bevel. We have smooth, we have chisel hard, we have chisel soft. Okay, so let's say we want chisel hard like this. The depth you can play around it to your preference. You look at your text even as you are doing to make sure you are getting the effect you want. The direction up or down, you choose what you want. Okay, and the size of the embossment tool, you select the size. Okay, the softness of it, either you want it to be soft or you want it to be sharp. So you play around it, this area. If you are done, you click on OK. So this is it. Now look at all the effects I've added: bevel and embossment, stroke, gradient, and shadow at the layer side. Okay, so this is it. Lastly, let us look at how we can download and install new fonts. So to download and install new font, if you have the font in mind already, you can search for the name. If you don't have, you can go to a site where you will have access to different fonts, then you download the font. So one site that you can download fonts from is dafont.com. So you open your browser. Let's say you are using Chrome, then you type dafont, DAFONT.com. You search and it will be open for you like this. Here we have many fonts available. So when you look up here, we have the categories for the fonts, so you can select any of them and play around it and choose and select the font you want. If you want to search a particular font, you come here and you search for it. If it's available here, you get it. Okay, so all these are fonts. Every font you select, so all these are fonts. So let's say you want to download this font, this font. We come here and you click on download, and when you look here, you see it is being downloaded. Okay, so it is complete like this. So you open it, you click on this sign to open it. If you like to, you can drag and drop it on your desktop, then you open it. But you can also open it from here. You click on the open sign and it will open for you like this. When it opens, you close this menu. This is the font, okay, the .otf. This is the font. So you double click on it and you click on install up here. Install. So the name of the font is Chopstick. Okay, so let us go to Photoshop. So now I want to use Chopstick. I use the move tool to select my text. Okay, then I come to the font star here. I click on the drop down arrow. If your distance has disappeared like this, then you have to go to the text tool T here. You click on the text tool, then up here you can select your font, or better still, you can use this option to click on it, then you select your font. So let's search for Chopstick. So you double click inside and you type chop. Okay, so it has come Chopstick. You click on enter and you see this is the Chopstick font. The size is too big, so I come here and I reduce the size to, let's say, 100. So this is the Chopstick, let's say 120 for the size. This is the Chopstick font. This is the Chopstick font. So this is how we do it with the text. How we download and install new fonts. Thank you.